A hiker exploring a forest in Poland discovered an abandoned house where everything was left behind, like the owners fled in a hurry. And when he went inside to film, what started as documenting an abandoned property turned into him literally jumping out a window to escape something that was trapping him inside. He notices an inverted cross hanging above a doorway, which in many beliefs is considered a sign of something dark or demonic. And this immediately sets the tone for what he's about to experience. He continued exploring the silence, won't stay for long, when a music box started playing completely on its own. A barrel organ music box suddenly starts playing with nobody touching it. He further goes to check what's making the sound and finds the music box actively playing, and he turns it off manually, thinking maybe it just got triggered somehow. While exploring, he sees photographs throughout the house showing that the family who lived here was well settled and had a normal life. But clearly something haunting happened that was so disturbing they abandoned everything and fled, leaving their belongings and memories behind. He continues exploring deeper into the house when suddenly an object crashes down from above without warning. And this is when everything starts going terribly wrong for him, because he's about to realize he's not alone, and something doesn't want him there. Right after the object falls, his leg suddenly gets stuck in something, and he can't pull it out no matter how hard he tries. And you can hear the panic in his voice as he's desperately trying to free himself. And when he finally manages to yank his leg free and tries to run toward the exit, the door slams shut and locks from the outside, as if someone invisible just locked it to trap him inside. And we listen again. Then the same music box that he had turned off earlier suddenly starts playing again. He literally jumps through a window to get out of that house and runs away from the property. And that's where the footage ends, with him having barely escaped whatever was trapping him inside that abandoned building. Now, you'd think that's already terrifying enough, but when the video was posted online and people started watching it closely and leaving comments, two viewers discovered something in the footage that the hiker didn't even notice while it was happening. And what they found makes this whole incident even more disturbing. One user commented there's someone looking through the window and let replay that exact timestamp. You can actually see someone or something visible looking through the door and watching him, which means while he thought he was alone exploring this abandoned house, something was already there, observing him from the very start. A man living in an apartment in Poland started documenting paranormal activity that only happens when he's alone. And what his footage shows is something that doesn't just haunt the space, but actively follows him around the apartment and destroys things the moment he looks away.
Hej, ogólnie to od jakiegoś czasu cały czas coś, właśnie takie dziwne hałasy.
One night, while alone in the apartment, he starts hearing weird noises, so he grabs his phone to record and goes to investigate where the sounds are coming from. He finds the laundry room door standing slightly open, even though he knows he closed it earlier.
Ja pierdolę, co to? Jak?
He decides to go inside to check what's going on and discovers the tap water is running at full blast completely on its own, with nobody in there to turn it on.
What the f...
He turns off the tap and decides to leave. While heading back to his room, he turns around. The laundry room door that was only slightly open before is now standing completely wide open, confirms that he is not alone in the home. The series of activities keeps happening repeatedly in the apartment, and it's escalating each time. So he decides to keep documenting whenever something strange occurs. A few nights later, he posts another video that's even more terrifying.
Nie, ja pierdolę.
It starts while he's doing some work, when he notices his bedroom door is standing open on its own, and then just like in the first video, he finds the laundry room door is open again.
Co jest, kurwa?
He goes to check the laundry room again to see what's happening, and just like before, he finds the tap water has started running completely on its own. But this video isn't just about the same haunting repeating itself, because something way more disturbing happens while he's in that room.
Whoa!
While he's returning from the laundry room back to his bedroom, he sees something that terrifies him, because when he first walked past the kitchen to check the laundry, everything in the kitchen was properly organized. But now, as he's walking back just minutes later, the kitchen cupboards are standing wide open, and chairs are knocked over on the floor, as if something violently destroyed the kitchen while he was in the other room. This clearly means whatever is haunting his apartment didn't just turn on a tap this time, but physically threw furniture and opened every cupboard the moment he wasn't looking. The man hasn't posted any updates since the kitchen destruction incident, which leaves everyone wondering if he finally moved out of that apartment or if the activity escalated so badly that he stopped filming altogether. An apartment where doors open themselves, taps turn on alone, light switches flip back down when touched, and an entire kitchen gets destroyed the moment you look away. Would you stay there? Let us know in the comments. This footage was shot about 24 years ago and was recorded in Gettysburg, which happens to be one of the most haunted parts of the United States. It was filmed by a couple in a triangular field in November 2001.
Don't move in there. No, there's a motorcycle. See?
Although it doesn't seem so clear what was recorded, it appears like some shadowy beings were lurking in the dark and showing up occasionally to the amazement of those doing the recording. This footage doesn't explain much. However, it's just as creepy as it is inconclusive.
There's another sparkle. You see what I'm
What's
saying?
that? What is that?
Tree.
No. You moved it, right? Right there. See it?
Uh-huh.
Look.
There's nobody there.
As much as there are really no clear explanations of what happened in this video, it quite appears some unexplained entity is clearly changing its positions. Since the video is 24 years old, there is no way it can AI, as at that, nothing such AI existed. People in the comments also believe the video is true, and a couple had captured something that cannot be explained. To clarify how real this video is, someone went as far as interviewing the people that shot it, and after this interview, he was convinced it was as legit as a paranormal video can get. Our next case comes from a mother in desperate need of help, who brought in a spiritual practitioner to perform a cleansing ritual on her daughter, who had been unconscious for hours, showing signs of possession. But what happened during that ritual proves that sometimes the entity doesn't want to leave and will violently fight to stay inside. The girl has been lying completely motionless on her bed for hours in a state. The ritual starts calmly with the practitioner whispering prayers while the girl remains completely still. But then, as part of the cleansing, the practitioner cracks an egg into a bowl, and instead of a normal yellow yolk, a thick, oily black liquid pours out, which in many spiritual traditions is an immediate sign that something dark and evil is present. The moment that black liquid appears, the girl who hasn't moved for hours suddenly bolts upright, and her eyes lock onto that bowl with an intensity that's not human, staring at the black substance like she's drawn to it. Before anyone can react, the girl snatches the bowl and drinks the entire black liquid in one go, and this is when everyone realizes this isn't a normal exorcism. After that, the girl's movements become completely inhuman as she stands up. And her body unfolds in an unnatural way, with her joints moving wrong as if whatever is controlling her doesn't understand how a human skeleton is supposed to work. And you can hear cracking sounds as she moves. Then, in less than seconds, the girl turns toward the spiritual practitioner who came to help her, crosses the room impossibly fast, and violently throws the grown woman against the wall with supernatural strength. The video quality suddenly starts blurring, and this is when the final and most disturbing footage gets recorded. The last recording shows two people standing in the room with a girl lying completely motionless on the floor, and while the person filming is trying to capture what's happening and understand the scene in front of them, but then the girl shows and starts running at full speed, directly toward the camera, and the footage cuts off the moment she reaches the person recording, with no explanation of what happened next or who these people were. There have been absolutely no further updates after this final blurred video was posted, and nobody knows what happened when that girl reached the camera or why the footage stopped so abruptly. But what's confirmed and absolutely chilling is that whatever that entity succeeded in staying, and the situation escalated beyond anyone's control. When this video was posted online, viewers were absolutely terrified, with one commenter saying, "This is terrifying. It scared me to death," with people agreeing. And another viewer joked that the dislikes on the video are probably from the possessed girl and her alternate accounts, which shows how genuinely disturbing people found this footage. What do you think happened in that room? Is it chilling or not? Because at the end, you are the one to decide. Let us know in the comments. A nanny cam video from 2016 shows a toddler doing something physically impossible, standing perfectly balanced on a narrow 3-inch crib railing in complete darkness, and the way he falls at the end suggests something else was controlling his body. The footage shows a toddler crying and calling for his mother in the dark, which looks completely normal at first, but then he does something that no toddler should be able to do. The boy suddenly climbs up the side of the crib and positions himself on the narrow wooden railing that's only about 3 inches wide. And then he stands up completely straight, letting go of everything and balancing perfectly upright on that tiny ledge while screaming the entire time. Then right before he falls, the video flickers for just one frame, like something in the footage skipped or glitched. And immediately after that flicker, he drops straight down onto the mattress with a heavy thud that makes the mobile above him swing violently. And he just keeps crying, like he has no awareness of what he was just doing on that railing. The way he stands upright and then fall violently makes this footage impossible to explain with normal toddler behavior. A toddler balances on a narrow crib railing for 22 seconds in the dark. The footage flickers, and he falls. What do you think was controlling him? Let us know in the comments. CCTV footage from a hospital in October 2022 at 3:12 a.m. shows a stretcher moving completely on its own through the hallway with nobody pushing it. The stretcher starts in a corner and begins moving across the hallway on its own. And as it approaches doors, they open automatically, like something invisible is opening them. The stretcher moves past, and the doors close behind it. And this continues as the stretcher rolls through the entire hallway, avoiding obstacles and changing direction like it's being guided by someone. And after reaching the end of the hallway, it turns around and rolls all the way back to where it started. A hospital stretcher moving on its own, doors opening as it approaches, and then returning to its starting position. What moved it? Let us know in the comments. A basketball coach filmed his players during a normal training session in 2003. He saw a child running across the court that wasn't there when he was filming. And video experts also confirmed the figure wasn't added after the fact. This footage comes from a local news paranormal segment that aired every November, where people submitted unexplained experiences. And the basketball coach sent in this tape showing something he recorded during a regular practice session with his young players.
Pagka-transfer ko, yung nakita ko may itim na dumaan. Sabi ko ba, ano kaya yung itim na dumaan? Ni-rewind ko. Yung player namin may slow-mo. Nung pinlay ko na ulit, nung pag-slow-mo, nagulat ako merong batang dumaan o basta nakaitim siya.
He saw a dark figure of a child running across the basketball court right in the middle of the shot, and it's clear on the recording with visible details. And another details we can notice is there's no shadow formed by a boy.
Tama sa katabing subdivision at pinapanood sa mga ito ang video. Halos tayuan ng balahibo ang mga bata nang makita ang video ng taong maitim.
The coach called all his players back to watch the tape together, and these were kids with no reason to fake their reactions. And when they saw the footage of that child running across the court, they all went completely quiet because they knew nobody else was there during practice. Remember, this is 2003, when there were no deepfakes or AI tools that could convincingly insert a moving figure into existing footage without leaving obvious traces. The coach never found an explanation for what appeared on his tape. The players couldn't explain who that child was, so nobody ever agreed on what it was, only that it's definitely there. What do you think was recorded? Let us know in the comments. When the priest walked into the room, Maria looked like she was just recovering from a flu. She was sitting up, chatting, and totally composed. But within minutes, that peaceful bedroom turned into a scene that would haunt anyone watching.
Ό,τι είναι να γίνει, θα φανερωθεί. Δεν είναι θέλημα Θεού. Υποφέρεις Μαρία. Τι έχεις να πεις για τους χριστιανούς που σε ακούνε αυτή τη στιγμή?
This footage captures a documented exorcism performed on a woman named Maria. Unlike the Hollywood version, where things start with spinning heads and levitation, this began with a quiet conversation. The priest spent the first few minutes just talking to her, checking in like a family friend. It looked completely routine until it didn't.
Έτσι είναι. Κάτσε κάτω. Κάτσε κάτω, στο όνομα της Αγίας. Κάτσε κάτω. Δες τα χέρια.
The transition is jarring. One moment they're talking. The next, Maria's entire persona shatters. As soon as the priest begins the formal rite, Maria's voice drops several octaves. Her eyes roll back completely, leaving only the whites visible. She isn't just agitated, she becomes violently strong. It takes several grown men to pin her to the bed as she lunges at the priest. At the height of the struggle, she begins foaming at the mouth, her voice mocking the priest and religious figures with a guttural, inhuman rasp.
Πού φτάνουν οι άνθρωποι? Με τα μάτια να το πεις. Στο όνομα του Χριστού να το πεις. Στο όνομα του Χριστού να το πεις. Στο όνομα του Χριστού να το πεις. Δεν έχεις τη δύναμη να μ' ακουμπήσεις.
Τη ζήλια και την κακία την είχε τη δικιά μου. Αλλά όχι όμως, γιατί είμαστε και μέσα.
Καλά. Άμα τον κατευθύνεις απ' έξω, δεν χρειάζεται να μπεις μέσα. Τη δουλειά σου την κάνεις. Αλλά όπου εγώ και βλέπω και βρίζουν τα πλοία, προσεύχομαι και το ψάχνω τον Κυριό μου. Εσύ δεν έχεις θέση σε αυτόν τον χώρο παρά μόνο λίγο καιρό.
The most unsettling part isn't the screaming or the foaming. While everyone else in the room is visibly shaking or exhausted from the physical struggle, he leans in and calls the presence a coward. He treats the entity not like a monster, but like a bully he's bored with.